Hello, everybody! Hello! Welcome back to the Black Beanie Stream. My name is Murphy, and today we're doing our first ever live AMA. And just to spice things up a bit, as you probably saw when I switched away from the scene there at the very beginning in the split second, we're going to be building... While you ask me literally anything, we are going to be building a gigantic can of beans. I'm going to make the biggest circle I can in an area of our choosing, I guess. I haven't checked out any of the Minecraft biomes since the Caves and Cliffs update started. I almost exclusively play in creative flat worlds, but we'll see what we can do. I figured it would look more interesting to just put a giant can of beans in an actual biome, in a real world. Oh, well, thank you. I like my mustache, too. Look at it, look. Yes. Quite a look at this distinguished gentleman, yes. All right, well, we're going to be answering your questions, ones that you have provided on the Discord, which I have up over here on the other screen, which is what I'm looking at now. We do have some questions from people that are no longer in our Discord community, so please do not feel sad. I will answer their questions regardless on the off chance that they might be lurking in the YouTube comments or just watching on their own time and not engaging. The moustache is back, yes. As well as a gigantic water bottle. Alright, before we get going, let's see who all is in here. We have Kyle. Good to see you. Kyle, I think you said that you're going to be leaving for a little bit earlier. That's totally fine. You pop in and out when you can. Enrique, good to see you. Ballistic, good to see you. Roni, always good to see you. Povertivity. Good to see you. Mr. Old Camera, nice to see you. Glad you're working on your New York City stuff. Apollo Boy, always good to see you. Sir Ship Builder 1912, thank you for the compliment. Good to see you. Mythic Dave, too. Good to see you. What else we got in here? G.S. Surya Kumar, good to see you. Lightning Blue, good to see you. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. It means the world to me. We're going to get to answering your questions here in just a second. Well, I guess I'll start asking now. Mythic Dave asks, how's the tutorials of the builds going? Actually, I can show you. I can show you how they're going. I just need to pull up Google Docs real fast in order to show you. Then I will switch over camera and see. Okay. All right, hopefully you can see this. All right. So, this is the completed script for the One World Trade Center Freedom Tower Redux, as you can see over here on the side. It is only 24 pages long. The whole tutorial right there. Pause it real quick, and you can get all of the instructions. This is your parts list that you're going to need. Nice, quick tutorial, I'm hoping. At 24 pages long, I think it will definitely be less than an hour for this video. We also have Golden Gate Bridge script right here. This one at a whopping 30 pages, so literally 1/3 the length of the Shanghai Tower tutorial, which is like my barometer, everything. But yeah, we got the deck, all of these right here. These BD instructions. Yeah, you guys are going to absolutely love the updated versions. I can even show them to you right now. If you haven't seen them yet, here, I will show them to you now. Just to refresh your memory, this is the One World Trade Center Redux. I have built it right next to my old one. Well, I rebuilt my old one right next to this. I had to go back and follow my own tutorials. It was kind of weird. But it actually worked! I was like, damn, it actually worked! What do you guys like these things? Yes, that is the updated Freedom Tower right there, next to the old one. I think it's a vast improvement. The new one is 50% scale of the real tower. So the real tower is like 500 and... I want to say 570 or 540 meters tall. Somewhere in that neighborhood. 500 and something. Either north or south of 550 meters. Give or take a dozen or so meters. Yeah, I want to say 540. Because I've got this topped out at 275 meters or blocks. And took a little creative liberties with the roof here, but I think it looks better than the nothing that was the other roof. But ultimately, yeah, I think that this looks really good. Biggest update comes with the base, obviously. This is the old base. I was using original concept drawings and renderings for Freedom Tower, which is why mine has this kind of curved base right there, when in reality, it looks like this. Or close to this. I have this alternating, like there's cyan glass on the back, and then I've got light gray and iron bars in front of it, because it kind of has that like slatted look. So in order to give that kind of textured variation on the surface there, I decided to alternate like that, and I think that it holds up pretty well. Yeah, old base is right there. Show the One World Trade Center lobby. It's not much of a lobby, although the instructions for it are in the tutorial. It's kind of just like the general shape of it. I use the floor plans, so where these would be like elevator shafts and stuff, this would be like a desk, like reception area, and then you'd have turnstiles that lead into a bank of elevators. Mine don't really do that. I threw a couple lights up there just to help me see, but I just threw in like a staircase right here in order to get up into the rest of the base, and eventually go up. It's not like the other one where there's this big empty chasm in the center where you can fly up and down. The individual floors are in fact locked off from one another. I'm hoping to do the next reacting to your builds tomorrow, live. Before the Super Bowl. Or during. Who knows? Even though I'm kind of hoping for Joe Burrow and the Bengals to pull off the Cinderella story of a lifetime. I do have to focus on this channel, at least somewhat. But yeah, that's the new one there. The tutorial for that is, or the script for the tutorial for that is completely done. Golden Gate, obviously, here. I finished this on stream. I have made a handful of alterations to it. Very, very, very small alterations to it. Like, kind of improving the curve of the cable supports, going from one end to the other. Just there were some areas where I thought it was a little bit too jagged, specifically on the outer edge here, or the outside of the deck there. The inside of the deck I think is okay. This part right here is pretty straight, which is irritating, but I mean, you're working with cubes, trying to make something that is not a cube. So, yeah, the script for this is completely done. I think it's a lot of fun. There is a lot of repetition. It will not be easy, but it is simple. Then, of course, there's the Empire State Building Redux, which I want to say I'm a good 25% through the script on this one here. Got it set to nighttime right now. It is not an illuminated build. I've given up illuminating builds because I'm sick of comments asking me why I chose torches when torches look gross. and I'm sick of having to explain myself, where it's just like, you can walk through torches. There is no collision on torches. Every other block that illuminates things in the game takes up space that you can't walk through. It's annoying. But yeah, that's the old one there to the right. That's the new one there to the left. I think it looks amazing. I'm so proud of how it looks now. Let me put it up at noon. Go. I think it is a vast improvement. This is in the natural texture pack. It does look fine, in my opinion, in the normal texture pack, which I will show you now. It's got the same general shape. It looks just fine. The only thing that I would change would be the blocks that are right here. Whereas solid iron blocks in the natural texture pack are metallic looking, they are not in the regular texture pack. So I would just switch back to regular andesite blocks and it'll look just fine. Sea lanterns will look great. The build itself will look fine. Got this nice sandy quality to it. Or you can just do what I did with the original one and just make it out of quartz. It's totally up to you. But in my tutorial, I will be using these pieces. Okay, let's get back into the world with the beans. My world, my world. Make some beans in the world. What biome should we search for in order to build our gigantic can of beans? Pictured just above my head. Right there. 57 varieties. Maybe do one Vanderbilt? Yeah, I'll do one Vanderbilt eventually. Super Bowl. Yeah, Tiny World Trade Center versus the big ass World Trade Center. Build it on top of the village. Make it look like the can of beans can be like the big ships in Independence Day. They're just looming over civilization. Oh, that would be something. That'd be funny. I need to build a circle first. Ronnie's like, do it. Do it now. All right, let's get to answering some questions, shall we? Okay. In the days. All right, Daniel Jones, 5832, asks, who is your favorite superhero? That is a very good question. I would say that my favorite superhero is probably Spider-Man. Just because that was my favorite superhero as a kid. I really enjoyed... I have, like, the Essential Spider-Man collections, volumes 1 and 2, which is just a compilation of, like, all the original Spider-Man comics. I have, like, this Spider-Man compendium that was released on, like, the 50th anniversary or something. I don't know when. But it's like this encyclopedia for all things Spider-Man, which is really cool. Yeah, I'd have to say Spider-Man, because the superheroes that I grew up really liking were Spider-Man, because I was a 90s kid, so the show was on, as well as the X-Men show, both of which were on like Fox Kids. Really enjoyed those. Daredevil also, I think, had some of the best comics. Wasn't really a big DC like lover, I guess, when I was a kid. Got into DC kind of as I was a teenager. DC is cool. I love Batman, but Spider-Man is probably my favorite. What city was I born in? A little place called Christiana, Delaware. Not an interesting or exciting place at all. Let's see. Kennedy Killer asks, ever heard or listened to any Sabaton song? Nope. FG Dakota, glad that it's looking good for you, man. Really happy to hear that. An exciting build to get through. Need something that looks kind of like aluminum. I think white concrete might do it. I use something like quartz, and I don't want to use blocks of iron. Maybe silver? Silver. Gotta be a metallic looking block in here. We used to have blocks of gold. Blocks of gold. Honey block. Block of gold. Block of copper. Exposed copper. Waxed copper. Smooth stone looks sort of metallic. Okay, Mr. Old Camera, we'll catch you later. Am I going to post more skyscrapers? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Of course. Block of the Prime asks, do you know about Perseverance? I assume you mean the Mars rover. Yes, I do know of it, although I am not overly familiar with it. I will leave you to tell me all the nitty-gritty details. I'm going to use smooth stone. Actually, I don't want to use smooth stone because that has outlines. I think all polished blocks will probably have outlines. Use concrete and clay. Clay block doesn't look bad. That one in there. Try white concrete. Does it look kind of like a bright aluminum to you? Kinda. Clay kind of has some speckles in it. Trying to build to buy. Wow. Do I want to play in your realm? Unfortunately not. I do apologize. But I do wish you the absolute best of luck in your realm, and I hope that your friends and you build some incredible stuff. Okay, so if we are to build a giant looming can of beans over this environment, I say we get started about right. Let's go a little hot. This looks good. Okay. It's you, definitely not a Saxon. Ah, okay. Nathan, you want a shout out. Okay, what do you give me for it? Give me a super chat and I'll shout you out. For World Trade Center asks, do you know any black beanies that are gamers that like building things in Minecraft? Oh, I know one! This guy! This guy right here! I choose Bedrock because it has controller support and Java does not. Plus I can crossplay Bedrock between my Xbox phone and people can join on their Switch. Oh, you finished Shanghai Tower. Good to hear that. Yeah, I prefer, when playing Minecraft specifically, I prefer the controller. First-person shooters, I prefer using the mouse and keyboard, but Minecraft, where it's just so much pressing and holding a button, much prefer a controller. Do I like the rock band Creed? Eh. They had a couple of good songs back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I greatly prefer their... Once Scott Stapp left, they went and they formed a new band. Mark Tremonti, Brian Marshall, and Scott Phillips, I want to say, are the other 3 members of the band. They went and they joined a guy called Miles Kennedy and formed a band, formerly of the Mayfield Four, and created a new band called Alter Bridge. They are much better. Much better. Can you use PayPal for Google AdSense? Because you hit the requirements a long time ago, but didn't have time for that. That is a good question. That is a good question. I did not use PayPal for it. I've got it set up for direct deposit. But ultimately, I am not a good source of information when it comes to AdSense payouts because I'm one of those set it and forget it types where it's like I'll fiddle with it once, and once it works, I'm just going to leave it alone. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. $30, $41, $44, $45. 8, 59, 60, 1, 2. 5, 6, 9, 10. $9, 40, 142. 8, 49, 50, 51, 52, 4, 5, 6, 7, 58, 59, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that'll be a decent base for a giant can of beans. So stupid. Okay! Normally wouldn't say this, but you're 9. Cheers. Last Saturday. Corbin the Gamer, good to see ya. Mustache, good to see ya. Mr. Pink, good to see ya. Oh, that's right. We have more questions to ask. Ballistic, or Ballsticks, asks, have you ever played Fortnite? I did one time, if I remember correctly. Back when it was called Fortnite Save the World or something like that. And, yeah, not really my thing. Not big on battle royales anyways, so. Ziggy, oh, rest in peace, Ziggy. We miss you so much. He asks, if not, can you please play it? No. Ziggy also asks, do you have any hot takes? I do. I have plenty of hot takes. You're going to have to be more specific, though. Does anybody want to hear a hot take about life? A hot take about the military-industrial complex? A hot take about college educations? A hot take about the gaming industry? I'll leave you guys to figure that out. Can of beans needs to be taller. Oh, it will. It will. Video, someone said WAD? Odd? You figure that the width of a can of beans is about 2/3 its overall height, so I'm kind of hoping for that ratio by making it about 128, 29 blocks across and almost 200 blocks tall. Beans! All right. Roni asks, do you want hotcakes? Always. Hotcakes sound delicious. I love hotcakes. Hotcakes are delicious. Have you ever had hotcakes? They're amazing. Especially with a little syrup. Ballistic asks, how do you feel about Fortnite? It's just not for me. It is just not for me. I am sorry to say. I've got nothing really against it other than how it's kind of monopolized the Twitter sphere, or not the Twitter sphere, the Twitch sphere. I'm not a big fan of its kind of aesthetic. I'm not a big fan of, I don't know. It's a free-to-play game, so it's hard to criticize how it monetizes itself by making people pay for certain things and all that nonsense. Not a fan. It's just not my thing. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Scrut asks, what would you do if you heard colors? Would we see sounds? Ziggy asks, are you left-handed or right-handed? I am right-handed. Hey, Yeti, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Ballistic asks, how do you feel that 800,000 people have heard your voice? It's kind of weird. The video he's referring to is the Burj Khalifa tutorial, I think, when he asked this question, which was last August. Jesus Christ, it's been so long since I've done an AMA. Yeah, around that time, it was, I think, at about 800,000 views, something in that neighborhood. Now it's over 1 million, which is insane to me. I remember making the decision to pursue YouTube as a thing with these Minecraft tutorials. I remember seeing promise in it when my Empire State Building time lapse back in 2018, early 2019, got 1,000 views. I was like, whoa, 1,000 views, my God! Ah! And I was a happy little doobies. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird knowing that many people have heard my voice. But at the same time, I don't really mind it, though, because it's like, I don't know. It's really surreal, because it's not like I have 800,000 people looking at me and, like, knowing me personally. They just heard my voice. That. What they're after is the Burj Khalifa. That's something that I think, and remember, it's not that many people, it's just that many times the video's been clicked on. Common misconception there. And it's a tutorial, so I imagine a lot of people, it has a lot of recurring viewership, so to speak. I'm sure the total unique number of people that have watched that video is much smaller than 1 million. But what's crazy to me is to think that, like, feasibly over 100,000 people have followed that tutorial and might have it in their Minecraft world. That's crazy. Crazy and awesome to me. Alright, does that look like about the good proportions for a can of beans? I think that looks about right. About a little bit. Can't line it up with our picture here on the right side of the screen. Yeti is making the LA Memorial Coliseum in Minecraft full scale. Woo! What would I do if someone was in my closet? I would get them out of my closet. Yeah, I'd say that looks about right. Over here. See? You can follow the outline there and match it up to the can of beans. You're starting by, well, don't you go hiding in anybody's closet. All right. Block of the Prime asks, if you could fly a drone on any planet, which one would you choose? Ooh, Venus, for sure, Venus. I know it wouldn't last very long on Venus, and I know that there have been tons of scans of the planet's surface on its own, but we only have a handful of actual visible light pictures of the surface of that planet. The Russian probe that landed on that thing only lasted a couple of minutes. It took a couple of pictures of its descent, and then it took a couple of pictures of the feet of the probe, and then the sucker just died. I would love to see... We got plenty of pictures of Mars. You know what I mean? Like, I think Mars is amazing. I love it. Like, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's still surreal to look at pictures of the surface of another terrestrial body within our solar system. You can ask here in the comments of this video, in the live chat, or you can pretty much ask anywhere else, but I would prefer that you ask in the chat. I'm also reading old questions that were posted on the Discord periodically as I build this gigantic can of beans. Now we need something that matches this color. Going with light blue concrete, maybe? Light blue concrete powder looks closer. This light blue wool. Maybe. Okay, we need to make a circle. I don't know if I still have that circle maker saved. Here we go. Pixel oval generator width. 64 plus 64 is 128 plus 1 is 129. Need this enormous scale. I just need to see 1/4 of it. All right, got the perfect circle ready. It says, hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Okay, I'm gonna move this over to the other screen. There. See what I am looking at. Smith. Sneak. All right, I just need this quadrant, and I can just copy that on all 4 sides. Oh yeah, my intro button is 9. No! Mars is Moon 2.0. It could be. Yeti asks, would you go to a NASCAR race if they raced at Lambeau Field? They better not race at Lambeau Field. Yeah, that'd also be a tiny little racetrack. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, I my hotkeys are set to my number pad, and I am constantly just screwing that up. Would I go to a NASCAR race if they turned Lambeau Field into a NASCAR track but turned it back after the races were done? I don't know how they would do that. It would also be an incredibly small racetrack. It would be like a NASCAR race on like an Olympic track and field track. You know what I mean? Like, that's very small. Okay. Also, Slushy, thank you so much for joining. It's good to see you, man. But yes, Glocka, if I could fly a drone on any planet, it would be Venus. Ziggy asks, tater tots or french fries? French fries, my good friend. And if I had to pick the mystery third option, I would go with diner-style hash browns. Not home fries, hash browns. Roni asks, strip meats or ground meats? Strip meats. Who doesn't love their meat to strip? Mona Curdy, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Ziggy follows that up with sea meats or air meats. How about ground meats? I'm gonna go with meats you can find on the ground. Like chickens. Ballistic asks, America or America? To which Kennedy Killer follows up, or Merca. Go with America. Slash, you're working on a painting. You're always working on something. That's crazy. Love to see it. What? Ballistic asks, if you woke up to see your whole house flooded with chicken nuggets, would you explode mentally? I can't say I would be sad about it. I'd be concerned initially. I'd be like, how the hell did all of these chicken nuggets get in here? Because there's like, look, I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment in the middle of a city. It's not very big, so first off, it wouldn't really be that many chicken nuggets, but it would still be a lot of chicken nuggets. I'm thinking millions of nugs. And while I could eat a good 20 of them real quick, Lord almighty. Could you imagine how greasy that would be? Oh my god, I'd have to clean the walls. Let's see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 8. Back. And 1, 2, 5. Back. 4. 4, 4, 4. 8, 5. No. 8, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3. I have this set to thick. I want to set this. Maybe someday. I'm not going to say yes, but I'm also not going to say no. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we got 5. Then we got 4. 3, 3, 3. So 3, 3. One, 2. 3 2s. 2. 2. God, I'm getting flashbacks to Shanghai Tower. Ah! No! Hey, Dexter and Ducky, good to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hi from the UK. Hello from the US. What time is it out where you guys are? Like, gracious, 7, 8 in the afternoon? 9 almost for some of you? Do I like your wolf? Oh, your profile picture. Kind of hard to see it, but yeah, I mean, it looks good. With the copyright system it is, yeah. Make 10 cans, pretty please. Well, I gotta make this first gigantic one, and then we'll see what happens after that. All right. Roni asks, air fryers, earth fryers, water fryers, or fire fryers? Air fryers. Fire fryers is just a grill. Water fryers is a pot of boiling water, and earth fryers, I don't really know what that is. Maybe a volcano? Everything but honestly nothing is a member for 5 months! Welcome! Good to see you. A round of applause for our YouTube members sticking it out for 5 whole months. It's good to see you. Big bean level. You love to see it, yes you do. Can't thank you enough. A bonfire, that makes sense. I'm still gonna go with air fryers because you can make French fries in them. Not that you can't make a French fry, a basket of French fries, you know, over a stove or over a volcano, but you know, if I just had to choose, Ducky is your YouTube partner. Oh, cool. Having a partner is helpful. It's great if you're on the same page, especially, because it can get frustrating when you're collaborating with someone and you just can't seem to hammer out the details. All right, we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 ones. 1. Okay. Another 2. Then 4 ones, and then it's just the same thing in the opposite. Dust. 2. 3 ones. Those. 1. 1. D3s. 4, 5, 8. 4, 5. And we just repeat that 3 times, and we will have the base of our bean can. The base of the beans! Gordon Ramsay on his way to toss a cow into the volcano. Right, so what you want to do is you're going to take the cow. Yes, beautiful, delicious. You can take the cow, you're going to crack its neck. Really get your hands, crack its neck off. Yes, just like that. Take olive oil, quickly, olive oil all over it. Push the cow gently, firmly, into the mouth of the volcano. Ah! Now you'd think this would be the hard part, but the hard part's getting it back out. Nice, crisp, charred, olive oil, garlic. This is so stupid. Delicious. Bloody hell. All right. Oh, hold on. Blue Sky the Fox asks, do you like horror games or horror movies? If I had to pick between the two, I would say horror movies because they have more potential to be terrible and hilarious. Horror games have never really been a big thing for me. I do like regular games that incorporate horror elements because it's kind of unexpected, and those games tend to make you care about the characters a little bit more. I think a good blend would be something like The Last of Us, where it's not really a horror game. It's more survival, more drama than it is anything else, but there are... You buy these beans in Tesco, nice! The Heinz beans. I honestly can't tell you if I've even seen this can of beans. Like, the beans that we have here, like, I'm sure Heinz beans are everywhere, don't get me wrong, but, like, Bush's baked beans are the big ones around here. Alt F4 to summon a beam. Don't even. Let me lose all this progress. Okay, so the pattern is 8, 5, 4, 4, 4. No, 8, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay. 8, 5, 4. Damn it! 3, 3. One, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Do this anymore. Do I want my Minecraft stock car to be a Toyota Camry, Ford Mustang, or Chevy Camaro? I want it to be a Pontiac G8 GXP. Final answer. I think we can sneak. I think we can sneak one hydration time, even though Roni's not here. Just don't tell him. Don't tell him. Shh. Okay. Anybody see him? Anybody see him anywhere? No? Okay. Real quick, alright? We got away with it. One more? One more. Okay. Now, Pontiac G8 GX, the 2009 Pontiac G8 GXP is a beast of a sleeper car. Beast. It's got like a 6 point, or is it 7.2 liter V8 engine in there? They basically just, like, it was Pontiac's last year mass production. They were like, you know what, whatever, we're about to get closed down. Let's make the best damn GM sedan that has ever been built, ever. We'll make a couple thousand of them, and then sayonara. And that car still, if you get it for under a certain amount of miles, still goes for over 40 grand. It's the ultimate sleeper. It looks just like a normal sedan. It's got some aggressive stylings. So you can get the base model for like 6 grand. That has the V6 engine. The GT model has the 6.8 liter V8, something like that. Could be getting this all mixed up. It has the 6-something liter V8 engine that was just a normal V8 engine that they made for the car. But then for the GXP performance model, they're like, let's take this giant V8 engine out of the Corvette, throw it into this normal looking sedan, And we'll make it rear-wheel drive. We'll put performance brakes on there, giant 22-inch wheels. The thing is beautiful and it holds up. It's so good. I've seen a handful of them in person, and I've wanted one for the last decade. Love it. Let's answer some more questions. Ziggy asks, did you know ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises? Yes, I did. It's weird. It's very weird. Just so you know, it's not often the case in the animal kingdom that sex is consensual. Reproduction is often just something that happens. So, yeah. It's a good car. I'm not a big car guy. I'm really not. Like seriously, like I don't know that much about, like, you know, the internal components of a car, like how to build a car. Like there's some people out there that just know how to build an engine. It's like I mean, I know different parts. I know what a throttle body is. I know what an air filter is. I know where to find it. I know how to change your spark plugs out, how to change oil and stuff like that. But god damn, like I am not a guru by any means. I know the cars that I like. You know what I mean? Let's see, what else is there? For World Trade Center, ask beans or beanies? Ooh, boy. Oops. I dropped my block now! Beans or beanies? That's the question, isn't it? Man. Putting me in a bit of a bind here. Beanies are the brand. Beans are what sustain the brand. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's more important, the beanie or the beans? Checking for answers. 10 years after this build, you randomly find this world. Oh god. Hey, Daniel, I answered one of your questions earlier. Build a bigger Simpsons home? Maybe. State do I live in? Who wants to know and why? That's true, Slush. That's very true. Without the beanie, there would be no beans. Beanie that started it all. Just so you know, the beanie is surgically attached to my head. It cannot be removed. Zombie, I just goofed. The length of the thing and not the actual ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. 5, 3, 4. Yeah, this one right here just wasn't long enough. Currently building the Transamerica Pyramid. When is the Golden Gate tutorial? This month. All I've got to do is record it and edit it. The script is done. The build itself is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2. Nope. 2, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, and if this one doesn't line up, I'm going to be pissed. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we're good. There's gonna be a giant can of beans hovering over this like river delta or bay area or something. The middle of the desert. Can your next stream be another escape simulator? I wish, but I don't know of any other escape simulator games. You finished it. The chicken or the egg? Kind of a reductive question. Because what it really boils down to, how evolution works, is that a creature that was not a chicken gave birth to another creature that had a slight genetic modification. That creature hatched, was kind of like the other creature, but it wasn't a chicken. Hatched from that egg, mated with someone, and passed on that genetic mutation. And that genetic mutation just so happened to be beneficial to it in its natural environment, which allowed it to survive and pass on its genes. And as the family tree expanded, the ones with those genetic mutations turned out to survive, were more likely to survive. So while the other ones kind of died off and dwindled down, the other ones flourished in this environment. And then as random genetic mutations occurred that better helped them advance in their natural environment, eventually, over many generations, chickens, as we know them today. We're talking hundreds of thousands of generations of animals and organisms coming from, say, this progenitor up here, different lineages with different genetic mutations that just happen to be advantageous in its environment, allowing it to survive and pass on its genes to the next generation. How old is Murphy? Murphy will be 29 in a couple of days. Kind of crazy to think about. I started this channel when I was 25. Let's see. Let's answer some questions from the Discord, shall we? Private Y Warner asks, Super Mario or Luigi? Ooh, that's tough. I like Luigi. He's the taller one. He plays second fiddle all the time. It's not fair. Plus, Luigi has a mansion. Mario's a cuck. Anyways. Kennedy Killer asks, Yakko, Wako, or Dot? Dot! Always Dot. She was the funniest. Oh, Steele asks, which has the better state capitol building? Lansing, Michigan, or Columbus, Ohio? Ooh. I know what the state capitol building looks like in Columbus, Ohio, but I do not know what the Lansing, Michigan state capitol looks like. Let's pull it up over here. Lansing, Michigan, Capitol building. Oh, that's pretty. It's dome. Might be a little hard for you guys to see it. Sort of a blurry picture, but not look bad. Enough. Now let's look up Columbus, Ohio. Ew. It's like someone started building the dome and they're like, nah, it's fine. Which is, you know, pretty much all of Columbus, Ohio. Now I don't want to download it. Get out of here! Yeah, it's like they started building the dome and they're just like, but it's hard. Yeah, let's go with Lansing, Michigan. I prefer that one. Yes, Daniel, I saw that you had posted that. Very sorry you got sick. Glad you're feeling better. All right, we need to build up the lip, the bottom of the can. Doing now. Gain 5 or 6 blocks. Ooh, we have some interesting questions coming in here. Ballistic says, or asks, what is the meaning of life? If life is meaningless, does that mean we should live every moment of it? Or does having a purpose not truly fulfill you? I think that we as animals honestly have a biological purpose, which is to pass on our genes. However, I think that as human beings living on what is essentially a speck of dust in the greater cosmic scheme of things, should just kind of be left alone to figure out why our life should have purpose on its own. Personally, I don't seek clarity from a higher power. I don't desire a sense of fulfillment in that way. I don't think it's necessary to live a fulfilling, rewarding life to consider yourself an agent of some higher power or to consider yourself subservient to someone or anyone else, be they deity or another human being. I think that it is impossible for a human being to see the world in all of its glory and all of its natural wonder while on their knees. Honestly, I would suggest that most people live their lives in a way that best suits them, and just leave it at that. I think that people deserve to live a safe, secure, and I guess what I mean to say is I think people should live a life that is free from scarcity, that is free from fear of persecution or death, based solely off of who they are and what they identify as. I think that true freedom is freedom from fear of starvation, of death, of debt. And I think that there are institutions out there that exist solely to suck the life out of people. I don't think that they should exist. But that's not really question. The question is, what is the meaning of life? And honestly, I think that you get to choose what your life means. That is a beautiful thing. Nothing is predetermined, although every action does have a consequence. But bear that in mind. Nihilism is not the way to go. Quite literally, everything matters. Everything you do has a consequence, big or small. No, nihilism is not the way. But I think you can live your life free of the thought that your very thoughts themselves could land you on a burning escalator down to an eternity of hellfire. I think that you are perfectly capable of making your own decisions and not having to worry about someone punishing you for the way they made you, so to speak. So yes, make up your own mind. My life is being too, Slush. I don't know. Everybody's life means something different. Or they could all mean the same thing. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make. It's live your life the way you want to live it. And don't you dare let anyone else tell you how you should live your life. Don't you dare let them do that. You only get one of them. Do not live it for someone else. Real or imaginary. Roni asks, are we in a simulation? No. Private Y Warner asks, why did I start YouTube? Now this is a question. This is a question. I feel like maybe I have answered this once or twice. There's a good chance I've answered this once or twice. But I feel okay in answering. I started YouTube because a long time ago, and it's not really a long time ago to me, but it is a long time ago to probably a good deal of you. I'll say back in about 2007. So literally about a year after YouTube first started. My best friend at the time and I were avid consumers of like Newgrounds and flashring.com, basically any games or little skits or animation that you could make with Macromedia Flash. That old Adobe company. We were really big on that. We really enjoyed it. Hey, welcome back, Ballistic. Yeah. We answered your, what is the meaning of life? Ronnie's like, I'm still here and I didn't talk at all. We're not in a simulation, Ronnie. It's not real! Or am I just part of the simulation telling you that? Whoa. But yes, so a really good friend of mine, my best friend growing up, from elementary school onward, and I were very big into two things. That was like Macromedia Flash animations and games, and video games as a whole, and video games media. And we made plenty of animations. We never actually were able to upload them onto Newgrounds, but we tried doing what people like Ego Raptor and Oni and Rice Pirate, a handful of those guys did on Newgrounds back like 15 some odd years ago. But we really kind of cut our teeth into editing and video editing and animation, sort of. Like if you gave me Macromedia Flash from 15, 16, years ago, I might be able to do something with it. But yeah. Like, today's tools are completely foreign to me, except for the editing software that I use. Although they're not entirely different, but... So anyways, we both had some yearning to create things, and we both had very strong opinions on everything. Video gaming specifically. Gaming, movies, all sorts of stuff like that. The two of us were kind of known for going off on these long rants, and we were also huge fans of certain YouTube personalities in the gaming space. Charlie, Penguin Zero or whatever. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Critical. That guy. We were watching him for his Gears of War and Halo 3 videos 15 years ago. So we were really big into YouTube culture, the personalities back in the day, and we really, really wanted to do that. We didn't have the tools or anything necessary to accomplish it. Both of us lived out in the woods. We hardly had any internet access. The school wouldn't let us, our high school really wouldn't let us use their computers in order to upload certain things. So we kind of just had to make do with random things. And then Twitch came about right around when we were getting into college. And, well, we got into college at about, I started my first semester in college in 2011. And yeah, I don't remember if Twitch was around then, but Twitch wasn't too far after that, I don't think. And he was a very, very early adopter on Twitch. So he got into that, and he wanted me to join him, my best friend. And I was like, look, I can't, I'm in school, I'm working like all the time. I would still love to do this kind of thing, but just not now. It's not right now. I'm still living out in the middle of the woods. He wound up living in a place where he had a stable internet connection. No running water, but a stable internet connection. So yeah, whenever I would spend time out there, I would I would co-stream with him. We did a bunch of Call of Duty streams back in the day. I'm talking like 2013, 2014, thereabouts. And yeah, so it was always the plan to kind of make a YouTube channel and eventually transfer all of our content and all of our ideas and our passions about gaming and skits and all sorts of stuff onto a platform like YouTube or Twitch. Hold on, I gotta count this. Yes, Wi-Fi over water. Oh, hydration time. Ah! Yes, hydration time before I finish this story. So you'd think that the story would have somewhat of a happy ending, because obviously I'm here on YouTube. And it was a dream of mine and my best friends for a very long time to be on YouTube. You will notice that I currently do YouTube alone. Now, my friend was the enthusiastic, outgoing, vivacious personality type. I've always been a bit more quiet and reserved. That's not to say that I don't have a personality, but he was always the brightest, loudest person in the room, so to speak. And he and I just happened to be like brothers, seriously. Die-hard friends, thick and thin, spent... Like, I lived with him at one point at that decrepit house, all sorts of stuff. But, so I remember at one point I dropped out of school briefly for about a year, and in that year spent a lot of time working on projects similar to this, and then just like working odd jobs and just cutting my teeth in different areas. Learned how to bartend. Worked a whole bunch of odd jobs. Became a dishwasher, table server. Worked at a school bookstore. Worked at a whole bunch of different. Worked at a nursing home, old folks at one point in time, where the grandmas in their senility would ask for like chocolate chip cookies, and you're like, you're severely diabetic. You have no teeth. You cannot eat these cookies. You could die. And they're like, my cookies. You know, it was not a good job. Paid okay. It was not a good job. But anyways, resources still were at a bare minimum. Neither of us had a PC we could use to edit things. It was all on console, just trying to share things using the original Xbox One's Connect and share features. We were trying to do stuff with that, but again, like that kind of thing wasn't designed to prop up a career or a long-lasting enterprise of this sort. The tools just weren't capable. And my passion has always been for writing. Creating stories, that sort of thing. It's still absolutely one of my favorite things to do. So I decided to go back to school and pursue with clarity creative writing. So between 2016 or late 2014, yes. Between late 2014 and late 2016, I was still in my original hometown, going to the community college there and taking classes, and we were still kind of, we were still shelving ideas. We were trying to get like stability and then eventually afford the resources to do these sorts of things. Although I was the one that kept pushing for it to be shelved, because to be entirely honest, I was like, look, it still feels like kind of a pipe dream. It doesn't seem like this is something that's ever going to really happen. It just seems too far off, like it just wasn't meant for us. 3, 4, 8. Hey, Dayton! College ball game, wow! 1, 2, 7, 8. Anyways, so when my time at community college ended, I had an associate's degree, but I needed a bachelor's to really go after the type of work that I wanted to do. So I had to move away from my hometown, and I eventually wound up here in Richmond, Virginia, went to school here. And the stipulation was I'm going to get my degree, and I would always tell them, I'm going to get my degree, we are going to attack this YouTube thing head on once I get a chance. And the whole time he was still streaming on Twitch. He was trying to like make a name for himself there. He got a few hundred followers. 1, 2. And he would upload compilations to YouTube as well. So he was still trying to do the content, but he didn't. He was always the idea person. He wasn't like the nitty-gritty edit, figure out the details type person. So, and I am. So it was kind of like he was limping along doing that, and I wasn't involved. And it certainly feels that way now, where it's like I'm still kind of figuring out how to do a whole lot of stuff. Not that I never had ideas. He was the person who would get an idea and start working on it before he knew how to do it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's getting the very first day of my last semester at college. I get a call from my best friend's older brother saying that decrepit, dilapidated house that he'd been using for internet had effectively burned down. He was in it while it did. So that was kind of the worst news I could have ever received at that point in time. It literally just all of the plans that I had for my life just kind of got thrown out the window. I had no idea what to do. So what I did basically was I took a little time after graduating to kind of write and get creative and experiment with a handful of different things. And I thought that would be really helpful to use writing as a kind of outlet for a lot of the grief and a lot of the unprocessed emotions that I was feeling, just to kind of get that out and to kind of help me process a life missing basically your other half. What I've described many times as ostensibly missing a limb. And I don't say that to, diminish the feeling of anybody who actually is missing a limb. I'm not trying to make a false equivalency here, but it's just about the only way I can describe what it felt like. Where it's such a total and irrevocable loss, where from that moment on, your life will never be the same. So it's about the closest I can come to describing. So what I decided to do, after I kind of came to terms with it, or started to come to terms with it, was later in 2018, because that happened in January 2018. So I still had to go through a whole semester of college to finish that up, get my degree. I've spent a lot of time since then trying to get writing published, and fiction works, no, but I have managed to work on a handful of things that I'm not technically allowed to say that I did, if that makes sense. It's like ghostwriting and basically just being part of a team where you write content, and then when a website puts it up, they say by staff or by contributor. Like just regular, it's like ad copy kind of thing. It's nothing that pays particularly well, but it technically counts as being published. So, not very rewarding. But late in 2018, around November, I just kind of got that vibe. I was like, I don't want to let this dream die. I'm the only person who understood this other person for who they really were. They were the only person who understood me for who I really am. And I don't want to let this thing that had gestated in our imaginations for so long just wither away and die. And contrary to what you might believe, I've been wearing a black beanie all the time, well before I decided to get online. So I just decided, what the heck, I will try and figure this thing out. And you are still witnessing that process. So that is why I decided to start. Does cutting out the background give automatic soundproof? How do you mean? Mustache Games asks, has Murphy ever had a girlfriend? There's a video on my channel that will actually answer that question. Listic says, I remember my friend and I had a dream of becoming huge. Reaction video I'm hoping for tomorrow before the Super Bowl, Dayton. Yes, I am technically published. Technically. Although you will not find my name on it. And I got paid cents on the dollar. Okay, it's not the type of work I'd recommend. It's not really enough to pay bills, but freelance editing and tutoring, mentoring sort of thing was a lot better, a lot more sustainable resource-wise. You can just like, someone's like, oh, I've got this really big idea for like an intro to something and I want flashing lights and I want the text to look like this. And it's like, okay, here. Oh, the top of the can to you. Top of the can to you. The video is my girlfriend and I play The Sims. So that should at least answer the question as to whether or not I've ever had one. And they're funny videos, man. They were really hard to make. That's how long you have to play The Sims in order for like goofy shit to happen. All right, how tall did I make this? The bottom of the can? 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's only 3. That'd be okay. Love the mustache. Did I do it myself? Yes. Yes, I did. Shaved it up myself. Unless you mean, did I grow it myself? Yes. It is all natural. Let's answer some more questions here. Lettuce asks, what are some in real life last episode of the season of the show moments? I have quite a few, but all of them are very sad, so I would... let's see. Okay, so one of the best jobs that I ever had was working as a waiter at a Mexican restaurant in my hometown. And it wasn't doing so hot in the latter couple of years that I was working there. A lot of the really good people that are still really good friends of mine to this day that I made working there almost a decade ago now. Yeah, I think it was Labor Day. It was coming up on Labor Day, and we were all prepping for a really busy weekend. And like I remember going home and being like, man, I don't want to work on Labor Day. I don't want to work on Labor Day. And I remember waking up in the morning and my sibling comes up to me and is just like, hey, so you don't have to go to work today. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, how do you know that? How could you possibly know whether or not I have to go to work? And they showed me a picture that was posted on the restaurant's Facebook page, and they had closed down for good, which was incredibly frustrating because they gave us absolutely no notice. They didn't give us any time to find new jobs, not that most of us didn't have a second job anyways. I was working at a chain restaurant as well at the time, if you've ever heard of O'Charlie's. Terrible, terrible restaurant. But it was really frustrating because they didn't give us any heads up, none whatsoever. And I understand why you wouldn't want to do that, because if you told a whole bunch of servers who are carrying, especially back then, who were carrying nothing but cash from customers in their pockets that they need to deposit to the restaurant at the end of every shift, if you tell them that they're not going to come into work tomorrow, they're just going to walk out with several $1,000s in their pocket and they're not going to pay the restaurant. So it's like, I get not telling them, but it's still such a dickish thing to do. Just not telling us before you just close up the shop. So it's like, so many of us just we're on our way to work in the morning and saw that the front door was locked. Like, are you freaking kidding me? It was just a kick in the nards. So what we decided to do, all the people that work there, who still work there, as well as a couple people that used to work there, we got a whole bunch of liquor. We got a couple of things we could set on fire, and we went to the restaurant when, like, I think it was like later in the week after they had already cleared out just about everything is there, and we did a proper farewell where we took a barrel and we put all of our work aprons in the barrel and we burned them, and we got drunk in the parking lot. And yes, the cops were called. Yes, we had to clear out of there. But it definitely had last episode of the series vibes. No spamming! Jesus. Thank you, Slush. I appreciate that. Let's see. Private Y Warner asks, favorite meme? Ooh. Boy. I don't know. What memes are in vogue right now? This is going to sound really crazy, but it's like... I remember, like, the earlier generations of memes were just these reaction images. Like, there were rage comics, and then there was, like, foul bachelor frog, helpful Asian teacher, there were a bunch. Obnoxious, like, girl. Foul Bachelor Frog was my favorite back then because it was just... Some of this stuff was just really rancid and unexpected and hilarious. There was that penguin that was like Awkward Penguin or something. Like, I'm talking about like primordial memes here. Like, looking back on them, they were not funny. But, good lord, back in the day, I used to ditch class to go hang out with people in the library, hide behind a bookshelf, and look at memes on our LG Envies. But Rage comics were fun. Those are classics. Trollface is making a comeback. I love that, like the spirit of Rage comics lives on. So I'm just gonna say my favorite memes are Rage comics as a whole. What time tomorrow? I don't know quite yet, but I promise it will be. If I do it tomorrow, it will be before the Super Bowl. Because I'm gonna be watching the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna be drinking. And it's gonna be great. Yeah, I know. I thought they were gonna set the building on fire. No. Didn't do that. It's like a pharmacy now or something. But yeah, like, it was just a really significant point in my life. Like, I'm sure that anyone who's older than 25 can tell you that Dayton would probably know way better than I would. You can kind of start dividing your life up, as cliche as it sounds, you can really start to kind of divide your life up into chapters. And they can last for as little as, just a handful of years to over a decade. Where the entire dynamic of your life, even who you identify as a person, can completely change. What you view your purpose to be can completely change. And I feel like that's just a natural thing that happens. As you experience more things, as you experiment with more things, like, things just change, and it's okay for things to change. As long as it doesn't change for the worst. I think things can be okay. Let's see. Ziggy asks, least favorite meme. Okay. I don't know if they're memes, but there are those things on TikTok where it's like, play this in front of your significant other like 3 times to make them annoyed or something. They're so cringy and so fake. Like, ugh, and any of the gotcha reaction content is so fake. There are those ones where it's like, oh, play this at half speed and you hear the Star Wars soundtrack, and it's just like, stop. Or it's like, count to 20 and it looks like you're rapping the song, and they're clearly just lip syncing the song. And it's like, I don't care if you're parroting it. This is annoying. Yeah, like, change is fine. If there's something you want to change in your life, go ahead and do it. Slushy, whatever changes you are going through, wholeheartedly support you. You'll always be a friend of the channel. You'll always be a friend o' mine. Same with everybody else in here that's been here for a while. Oh yeah, Dayton knows. Okay, so let's see. Oh wait, hold on. Here we go. Roni asks, do you actually sell Nuka-Cola bottles? Do you actually sell Nuka-Cola bottles back here? No. Unfortunately not. I wish I did. I think that it's awesome. I just like the vintage look of these. I've got this really cool vintage on-air sign that I had custom made. I'm gonna either stick right above my head or right there. It's gonna look pretty cool. I've got the marquee letters right there. I would like to get different studio lights in the room here to kind of give the room a more amber color. Or maybe some up lighting instead of down lighting like it currently is. So like I can put like a smoke machine in here and have it look like a smoky study from the 1960s. Will I do any more Fallout 4 streams? Would you like me to? I'd be glad to. I love that game. Okay, so... Ooh, you're watching Ozark. That's a good show. I haven't seen season 3, and I have not watched the one that's coming out or currently out. Beans. Hey, Ethan, good to see you. I'll tell you what, though, Roni. If you want a Nuka-Cola, the closest thing you can get... back in 2015, Jones Soda Co. released a Nuka-Cola Quantum labeled version of their blueberry soda. You can still get them for a lot of money on Amazon. I think the last time I saw it, it was like $15 a bottle for a soda that you shouldn't drink because it's a collectible item. But honestly, what I would do is do what I did. Let me scooch over here real fast. What I did was I went to GameStop a couple years ago and I got a Nuka-Cola water bottle. A little dusty, which is why it looks like I'm stroking it off. And then I just filled it with a soda. I think... That is some ancient Dr. Pepper, and I would not be surprised if something else was in there. Oh, it's still got some fizz! Look at that! This thing is like 3 years old! It's still got fizz! That's cool. This used to be full. I filled it up to beyond the cap, and it's just slowly evaporated. Somehow. That's crazy. Anyways, yeah, the seal isn't great, but ooh, what's my favorite series? That is an excellent question. Again, like I don't really do single favorites of things. I know that that's really frustrating to hear, and it might sound a bit pretentious, and I apologize. But I know my opinions on things change all the time. My favorite TV series of the last maybe 2 years, just based solely on how much I enjoyed it and how fun it was for me to watch. The fact that it wasn't very long and the fact that I just liked it was The Witcher. But there are loads of good series out there, ones that I haven't even seen. My favorite one of all time, Lord, Breaking Bad is good, but I feel like that's a pretty common answer. I really like some classic sitcoms. Those are good. Cheers is amazing. Man. That's hard. That's hard. I'm sorry I can't give you more of an answer. I actually had to remove Flight Sim from my computer because it was taking up too much space on one of my drives. I just haven't re-downloaded it yet. Let's see. Ballistic asks, where did your obsession with beans come from? Were you found floating down a river and you were taken in and raised by a clan of beans? Don't you mean a can of beans? Something like that. I can actually tell you exactly when I started loving beans. So, this was sometime in high school. Couldn't tell you exactly when. Sometime between 15 and 17 years old for me. I went to Taco Bell and I ordered nachos. I I had gone after school with a couple of buddies of mine, and we just went to Taco Bell, and I was like, oh, I'll just get some nachos, not really in the mood for like a big burrito or anything. And I didn't realize that there were beans on it. I asked for if I remember correctly, I didn't get any sour cream on it. Like, the reason I remember this so vividly is because of how delicious it was. And it just started this craze for beans for me. Refried beans are among my favorite things on the planet. I just love them so much. Yeah, I didn't realize that there were refried beans on the nachos. So as I'm like chowing down on these things, I'm like, oh my god, why are these so delicious? What is on these nachos? What mystical, magnificent, delicious element has been included to these nachos that makes them so good? My friend just looks me dead in the face and goes, it's the beans. And I was just, beans? These things I've avoided my whole life because they look like little bugs? Because they look disgusting when they're in a can? They look like skin tags people popped off and put in a can so they grew. They look disgusting, but oh god, they're so delicious. Yes, good series, I agree. When will I upload the tutorial for the new World Trade Center? Hopefully next month. Golden Gate tutorial will be out this month. It will not take me another 2.5 weeks to do it. Because all I gotta do is record it and edit it. Like, to be entirely honest, the hardest stuff, which is figuring out how to build it in the first place, that's already out of the way. And it's not gonna be like the Shanghai Tower where I have to make it in 4 parts because it's 90 damn minutes. Yeah, I missed the YouTube dislike button too. There's still a way you can sort of tell if a video is fairly disliked. If you remember, like, say, it's fairly common to see a video with like 1 million views get somewhere in the neighborhood, depending on how long the video is, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 25 to 40,000 likes, I would say. So if you see a video that's obviously clickbaity, has like between 500,000 and 500,000 and up, but it only has like 1,000 likes or like 800 likes, then you know. You know what I mean? If it just has a suspiciously low amount of likes, if you look at the likes and you're just like, this video has 1 million views, then you know that it's not going to be good. Pinto beans! Pinto beans! Absolutely. Oh, but man, it's really any beans now. I mean, it's black-eyed peas, kidney beans, lima beans, pinto beans, black beans. Oh, Lord. There's so many. There's so many different types of beans. And then, like, you know, you've still got like stuff like green beans, which, I mean, it's the whole thing. But, I mean, it's still... You got snap peas and all sorts of stuff like that. It's anything bean or bean adjacent. Legumes. I will enjoy. They're fantastic. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Oh, we got a question from Curry. Curry asks, Dear Murphy, how do I get a girlfriend? Please, I need to know. Thank you. Sincerely, Curry. Okay, here's what you do. If you want a girlfriend, this is kind of meh advice. And a bit of it is kind of the word I'm looking for here. Generic, I guess. When people say you have to be yourself, first off, absolutely you do have to be yourself, because if you're putting on airs, if you're pretending to be something that you're not, the second you relax in a relationship and start showing them who you really are, that chemistry might not be there anymore. All right? Which is another thing. Chemistry, okay, is real chemistry is something both people feel. Okay? If only one person feels it, it's kind of like, you can call it unrequited, but it's really just, you're really attracted to this other person, you really get along. But Navy beans, yeah. Darkness, YouTuber from Poland. Welcome. I am a YouTuber from the United States of America. If you couldn't tell, I am from the United States. I'm going to use my credit card. Aluminum. That's a cookie. They are called French fries. No. Stupid. Instead of no. Okay, anyways, how to get a girlfriend. Okay, first off, if you like somebody, sometimes it's really best to just let that be known. Okay, like in order to be in a relationship, in order to be in a fulfilling long-term relationship, you are really going to have to get used to feeling uncomfortable. You're going to have to acquaint yourself with a type of vulnerability that a lot of people are scared of. And that's okay. It's okay to be scared. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, you could get rejected 100 times, and it sucks. But wouldn't you rather be with someone that wants to be with you than keep chasing somebody who keeps turning you down? You know what I mean? There's no catch-all thing here. There's no... If anybody says that they can teach you how to get a girlfriend, they don't care if you get a girlfriend, they want your money. Okay? That's all they want. Do I have a diet soda? This is a sugar-free Red Bull, and this is 7-Eleven water. So, I don't know. They probably filled this up in the sink. But, yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say for that. Look, you genuinely have to be yourself, but you also have to be self-effacing. You have to be critical of yourself. Not in a, oh, I'm too fat, oh, I'm too stupid, oh, I don't have enough money, oh, I'm not tall enough. No. You need to focus on things that might turn someone off from you. So if you have some very aggressive tendencies, if you tend to put other people down, and I'm not trying to insinuate that you do, but if you have a tendency to interrupt people when they're talking, if you have a tendency to kind of not be courteous or kind or just be unapproachable, like if someone shares an opinion you dislike or you disagree with, you insult them. You know what I mean? Just you need to be... You just kind of need to distill your interests down into the types of things... Okay. Again, this is such a hard question to ask because there are no two people that are exactly alike. You need to know yourself. You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses. You need to be able to identify those sorts of things. Okay? And being 5'6" is not a weakness. That's just who you are. Okay? If a person likes you, they're gonna like you. They're not gonna give a shit about how tall you are. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that's frustrating. If someone only wants someone who's 6 foot and you're not 6 foot, why are you going after that person? They've already showed what type of person they are. Ignore them. Get away from them. Let the person who's over 6 foot and doesn't know what they're about to get into, let them deal with that mess. Okay? If the type of person that you're into doesn't want you, then why are you there? Get away from the situation. Focus on the things you like. Focus on finding common ground. Focus on building a good rapport with someone. I mean, it's relationships are literally just talking to the same person every day for an extended period of time. So if you don't have anything in common, if you don't have any shared interests, if one of the two of you isn't willing to learn or at least figure something out about the other person, you should be curious about them, about their thoughts, about their feelings, all this sorts of stuff. There are all sorts of things that go into finding someone that you can really, really get along with. And the definition of a romantic relationship versus a platonic relationship in this day and age is completely fluid. It's in flux all the time. I mean, definitions are changing by the day, it seems. So, I don't know. you're also what? You can't be older than I am. So just don't worry too much about it. You know what I mean? It's you're gonna go a lot of places in your life. You're gonna meet a lot of people. Might not feel like it right now, but you're gonna meet a lot of people. If you're in high school, there's more to life than the several hundred people you see every single day. And when you're that age, absolutely everybody is at their absolute worst. Things will change. Tempers will mellow down. People will be able to see a bit more clearly. When you're in your mid-20s to your mid-30s, I feel like is when people really start to identify what makes them who they are as a person. And I feel like that might be the best time to really start looking for concrete, long-lasting relationships. But again, some of this you're just going to have to find out for yourself. I know that was a rambling nonsense answer, but you kind of put me on the spot. Mustache Cat Games asks, beans or beans? I don't know! How am I supposed to know? Beans or beans? How's someone supposed to answer that question? How is anybody supposed to know? That's like, what is God? Whoa! Who can answer that? Lord Almighty. I'm here to play video games, not wax philosophical about the meaning of life, okay? Beans or beans. Christ. Mustache also asks, what kind of music do you like? Ooh. I'm not really good with like the specific names of like genres. I feel like that changes all the time. But I like pretty much any rock music. Except for like butt rock. I'm sure you guys know what that is. I like electronic music. I like rap. I like hip hop. I like a lot of pop music. Not a big country fan. Specifically pop country. That's not to say that country music is bad. It's just when it, like, I just don't like cringe music, and it's really hard to hammer down exactly what that is, but it's like pornography. I know it when I see it. But as far as the music that I seek out, if I'm going to the gym, I am listening to the heaviest heavy metal, usually gent or some kind of screamo. Like just the heaviest possible music I can find. A lot of it is Norwegian, so I have no idea what they're saying. Could be talking about what a lovely day it is, but they're saying it. You know what I mean? Ooh, Johnny Booth is good. There's a breakdown in his song Asymmetrical, which is spine-tinglingly good. Absolutely love it. So that's pretty much the genre of music I like. It sounds angry, but I'm not at all an angry person. So. But I also like music like what we're listening to right now, or just generic dance music, electronic music, that sort of thing. I'm not fussy. Lightning Blue asks, what's your favorite building in New York City? The Empire State Building. Always has been, always will be. It's not a skyscraper. It is the skyscraper. And I think that it always will be. It was the tallest building in the world for like, what, 40 years? So... in an age of global industrial upheaval, no less. So everybody was building big buildings. And Empire State Building was just like, I'm gonna stand here for 40 damn years until somebody decides to build something taller just down the street. Yeah, it's the product that I really like. Art Deco architecture. They just feel like buildings instead of these big glass phalluses. That makes any sense at all. Yeah, Slipknot's good. I like them. I've listened to every single one of their albums like 30 times. Scared Dog Warrior Vlogs, good to see ya. Yes, I do listen to Slipknot. I love Slipknot. Iowa was one of those transformational albums in my life. I remember downloading legally. I remember downloading the entire Iowa album on my PSP using hotel Wi-Fi in North Carolina when I was 13. Oh God. No, I was younger than that, man. No, I was at least 11. It was like 2004. When did the PSP come out? I can't even remember. When did the PSP come out? Was it 2005? Yeah. So it had to be 2005 because the PSP came out in 2005. Chrysler Building. Hey! I love the Chrysler Building. That's a good building. Volume 3 of the Subliminal Verses came out in 2004, so I was in middle school. Yes. I was in middle school 2004 to 2006. 04, 05, 06. However that works. Yeah, 04 to 05. 05 to 06. 06 to 07. I started high school late 2007. Graduated early 2011. I still feel like I'm a rambunctious 20-year-old. I will add one more layer underneath this, and then we'll get to answering some more questions. Bum, 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 bum. Ow! It's okay, Daniel. You just gotta keep making content. Tough pill for all of us to swallow. Especially when some people seem to get one good video and get 1 million subscribers overnight. But it's okay. All moving at our own pace. And I honestly, like, I know that there aren't enough people on the planet for everyone to be a fucking, or, I'm sorry, a freaking, you know, YouTuber, but there are too many people on this platform for you not to have an audience. You know what I mean? If it's something you really, really, really want, you have to try. Ooh, that frame rate. Bit more to the lip. Down schnaw. All right. All right, here's some more recent questions. Apart from the giant bean, what motivates you in life? Asked by Slushy. What motivates me in life? Lord. Long time, there wasn't much that was. Hard to say. I do get a lot of motivation from doing this sorts of stuff for you guys. It's a lot of fun. Knowing that there are people out there that want to see the types of things that I like to do is more than enough to get me to do it. I wouldn't say there are traditional motivations. I'm not particularly interested in, you know, the white picket fence with the wife and dog and 2 kids. Never really been appealing to me. I'm very much exploratory. Like, oh, that seems interesting. Let's go check that out. First, what motivates me in life? I'd say curiosity. Say curiosity, and I will leave it at that. Just be vague. It's not really something I think about, you know? There are people out there that desperately need a figure like a motivational speaker to get them out of bed. They just need some old guy who sells a bunch of 60-page self-help books to yell at them over a cassette in order to get their life together. Offering vagaries of any degree. But, no. That type of stuff doesn't really motivate me. I don't really think about whether or not I need motivated stuff. But like literal motivations, like deadlines and things like that, can self-imposed deadlines as well. Trying to get like certain videos done, certain anything done. What kind of phone do I have? I have a Google Pixel. Oh no, you accidentally deleted your channel. It's terrible. Am I going to do a Minecraft tutorial on the Mercury City Tower in Russia in the future? Have never even heard of that. Mustache, ask all the questions you want. I will answer. Ballistic asks, Dear Murphy, how do you feel about the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft? Here's what I hope happens. I hope that they gut the leadership positions of Activision Blizzard and put in some people who actually respect human beings and quality of life of the people that work for their company. I hope that the release structure for Call of Duty and Overwatch and all that stuff changes. Sick of battle passes, even though I know that that's not going to change. Halo Infinite's doing it right now. I don't know. What matters most to me regarding Activision Blizzard is that the employees are taken care of better than they were underneath the menacing rule of Bobby Kotick. That's pretty much all I care about. As for Microsoft buying it, hey, Game Pass subscription is looking more and more valuable every single day. I am proud to be an early adopter. So it's natural to feel a sense of unease about any company that feels like it should just buy every other company. I'm not a big fan of praying for the benevolence of people that honestly have nothing forcing them to be that way. Will I ever build St. Basil's Cathedral? Maybe. Oh, it could snow where you live. That's nice. I like snow. Hasn't snowed very much where I am. Kyle asks, follow-up question, how do I feel about Sony's acquisition of Bungie? I feel like they're desperate. Reeks of desperation to me. Honestly, Microsoft could buy Sony if they wanted to, but I don't know. I want all the games for my PC. That's what I want. I'm tired of consoles. I'm tired of having to buy a box every couple of years that is outdated by the end of the year it debuted in. I'm sick of the storage limitations. The biggest generational leap in performance console-wise that I've seen has been from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. That generation. It's probably almost as big as the difference between the PlayStation 1 era to the PlayStation 2 era. Because like PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 just was hardly a leap. It really didn't feel like that big of a leap in terms of what the console itself can do. It just felt like a slight graphics upgrade. The difference between a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 4 Pro, significant, more significant. And the difference between a PlayStation 4 Pro and a PlayStation 5 is massive. Just because they have solid-state drives, it's... Until you use things off of an SSD versus a hard drive, you have no idea what you're missing out on. It is, if you have a computer that doesn't have a solid-state drive, it's the single most valuable upgrade, single most noticeable upgrade you can make, aside from dropping a couple $1,000s on a top-of-the-line graphics card. Yeah, but as far as Sony buying Bungie, Bungie made such a big deal about leaving Activision and being independent, and it's just a little startling to see them just jump right back into bed with another big company that's just going to tell them how to do things a different way. Bungie really did, like when they left Activision 2 years ago, I want to say. A couple years ago or a year, somewhere around there. A little while ago. They really did. They made such a stink about how important it was for them to be independent. Now, obviously, it's amazing they left Activision. Activision sucks. They're terrible. Almost as bad as Ubisoft, and they're one crappy game away from being EA. And Bungie did nothing but increase their standing in the eyes of gamers everywhere by leaving Activision. You go jump in the bed with someone that's going to limit. Does Destiny remain cross-platform if Sony owns them? Will I still be able to play Destiny on my computer? Who knows? Will people on an Xbox still be able to play Destiny? Who knows? These are the questions that they're being asked, and they're just not answering. I'm sure they got plenty of answers out there. They're just like, oh, Because Sony is a lot like Nintendo in regards to transparency, where they're just like, we're just going to do what we want to do. Sony is still riding that goodwill off of the EA 2013 when Microsoft tried to introduce DRM protections on video games and require an online connection in order to play, and they didn't articulate very well what their plans were for the future of the console, and Sony was just like, oh, hell yeah, you're just handing us a victory on a silver platter. Oh, how do you share games with the PlayStation 4? Oh, you just hand your friend the game and they can play it now. Ha 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 ha. And they've been riding that goodwill for about a decade now. And I honestly believe it's about time that that goodwill ran out, because Sony has been acting fairly anti-consumer over the last couple of years. You have to twist their flippin' arm out of its socket in order for them to provide backwards compatibility to the majority of their exclusives library. It's absurd. They just want you to buy the same games over and over and over again. Like, oh, it's an enhanced version of The Last of Us. Whoop-de-doo! It's the same game 3 times. It's like Bethesda. Ooh, there are God Rays now. Whoop-de-doo! It's the same game. Stop selling it. Frustrating. Most I can say. Okay. Oh yeah, you didn't miss much. I was just ranting about EA. Okay. Roni making a reference to the epic battle simulator we were playing the other week. On a scale of A to 69,420 Deadpools, how awesome will the next tutorial be? The next tutorial will be awesome. It will be succinct, it will be quick, it will be to the point, it will lack anything superfluous. I am cutting it down to its base elements. Here are some images of what we're building. Here is how to build it. Here is a call to action asking you to join our social medias and help grow the community. Here's the finished product. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. That is what the next tutorial is going to be like. It is going to be smooth. It is going to be edited well. The timing is going to be much better than many of the other tutorials that I started off making. It is going to be good. I'm going to focus very much. I had it in mind while I was writing the script, the cadence of the delivery of information. Of course, the transcripts will be provided just like they were for the last several tutorials that I've done. There's going to be a hotbar that shows which pieces are going to be used. The UI, for lack of a better word, the overlay that I add over the videos is going to be simple. It's going to tell you how many blocks you need, where to place them. That's about it. Nothing is going to be more complicated than it needs to be. Bro, I really hope that the Bengals win the Super Bowl. I'm not about to sit here and root for the flippin' Rams. Of course, I'm just a salty Packers fan. Sitting here mourning the loss of character from his anti-vax quarterback. Thinks there's a woke mob after him. He says it every week for 4 hours. Couldn't cancel that man if you tried. The Rams can suck your penis. Okay. See what we got here for more questions. 2 questions from Private Y Turner, which I think is Yakko. Why did you start doing YouTube? I explained that a little bit earlier. Out of respect for a dead friend. Guilt is another thing, but it's been a long time coming. And I literally spent much of my teen years and my early adult life, comparatively speaking, just being told frequently, you need to have a YouTube channel. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, I have a computer that can run games from a decade ago. That's about it. I can play Battlefront 2 and Jedi Outcast and maybe Minecraft if it feels like it. But yeah. I wish it didn't take the death of my best friend in order to kick me into gear, but we can't always choose the things that jostle us into the... Yeah. That's the thing about these here quarterbacks. That's like, is it an ego thing? Because it seems to be particularly prominent with quarterbacks, where it's like they know they're the centerpiece of the team. They know that they are the dynamo of the offense. I don't know. Just some of it has to be ego, right? Like, they know best. Like, I did my own research. It's like, oh yeah, like, where's your published study? Huh? Like, say all that you will about the inconsistency of the CDC, because they have been inconsistent. There has been it's been a public relations nightmare for the CDC this entire time, but it's, good lord. Like, how else would you expect? It's like people are upset that a vaccine resulted out of a global crisis. It's like, isn't this the thing you wanted? They're like, no, it's too good to be true. People suck too much for it to have happened. And it's like, I don't know. In World War II, we went to some pretty extreme measures to curtail the rise of fascism in Europe and the East, and just whatever, Europe and Asia. Anyways, that's a conversation for another time. Cats or dogs? A decade ago, I would have said dogs, but it is much easier to take care of a cat. I gotta tell you. If you're looking for love, get a dog. If you're looking for companionship, get a dog. If you just need something to kind of keep you company and something that is kind of like living with a roommate that can't talk to you, get a cat. Or as Craig Ferguson used to say, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. If you want nothing said or done, ask a cat. Hydration time. Here's to that. Cheers. Lettuce asks, what's your favorite vegetable? Lettuce, I hate to break it to you. I really do. But it's broccoli. Broccoli, green beans, asparagus, crunchy vegetables. Crunchy greens. Who's my favorite? But I'll tell you what, you throw some collards into a pot with a couple of quarts of broth and seared pork and pork cheek jowl. You chop up some garlic, some onions, throw it in there, and you just let that sucker simmer for like 5-6 hours. Woo! Excuse me. Have I seen any of the pictures of your latest build? You're talking about the Fort McHenry? Is that right? One you posted a video of on your... Oh, no. There was another one. Hold on. Hold on. I'll guess the correct one. Oh, Yeti, that's pretty dope. I'm looking in the Share Your Creations area of the Discord right now. Yeti, your race car looks dope. The Chateau in France. Did you share it on the... Yeah, here it is. Chateau de... Word. Is that a moat that's going to go around that? How big is this? Also, are you using the city texture pack? The courtyard looks good. I mean, obviously it's not finished or anything. But the lawn decorations look pretty dope. How'd you do that? Oh, I see what you did. Okay. Sorry, I'm not showing this to everybody on the stream. Yeah, it looks gigantic. Like, considering that the house in the corner there, or the main build, I don't know. That one building that's at the very corner looks like it's about 20 some odd blocks tall. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And then, considering it looks like a little freckle. Compared to the rest of the... Yeah, that's big. You're almost extending past your height limit, or your render distance there. That's right, you do always use the city texture pack. Okay, we need to experiment with different colors. I'm fine using wool, although I don't like textured blocks, really, when I'm just going for a color. Is light blue concrete is, I don't know, a bit too blue. Not enough green in it. Outer. I'm not gonna try and make this like add like shadowing or shading or... Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the wool. It's too dark. I know I'm in the shadow of the ring up there, but dark. All right. Tell you what, before I do any of that, let's make the top and bottom of the can, shall we? No, I am not going to use a fill command. If I do use a fill command, it'll be after I make a square. Doesn't look too bad. Does it look like out of the shadow? Might be closer. We'll see. Beauty beans. Are there actually beans in this game? Oh God. All right. Looks like we've only really got one question left on the Discord. Would you rather, 1, be in Among Us and be sussy, or 2, not be in Among Us and not be sussy? I will choose 2, First Prism. I would rather not be in Among Us. I would prefer not to get my neck cracked. I would also not like to be sussy. I like to think that I'm a genuine person. And while I refuse to show you what's underneath my beanie or tell you what my first name is, I like to think that I'm fairly transparent. We should all understand that. Try to keep the privacy intact of the people that are closest to me. At least retain a little bit of it for myself. Which might not always be the case. Not like I'm using an alias or anything. Alright, well, with all the questions out of the way, we can just make a can of beans. Unless you guys have more questions you want to ask. Finally in the middle. This also might be too big for the fill command square, even if it's only a single layer thick. I think the fill command only allows for like 3,000 blocks. Yes, for sure, for sure. I will do that. You go get your grub on, Dayton. All right, we can try a fill command. Right. So we are at 340, 140, 283. 340. 283. Okay. And we just need to go over to this other corner. $252, 140, 370. 52, 140. 7. This is white caps. Why am I in caps? Okay, so let's take a look here. It was 340, 140, 140, 283, 252, 140, 371. Wait. So it doesn't want white concrete. Okay. Two, just two? Weird. Let's not put it in right. All right. 340, 142, 8, 3, 2, 5, 2. Base 1, 3, 3, 7, 1. When will the new Empire State Building video be released? Probably April. I'm not seeing much in the way for concrete here. Let's give it a shot. Ah! It was one space too high! And we know to put it down to 139. So, that again. Fill 341, 42, 8, 3, 2, 5, 2, 1, 30, 3, 7, 1 with error. Okay. That needs to be 139. Stupid. All right. Bill. 340, 139, 283, 252, 139, 371 with concrete. Please and thank you. Nice. Okay, and then we just fill in these little sides here. Ba, 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 ba. Anybody else got any questions? Could ask away. Have I ever been to jail? No, I have not. But that doesn't make me boring. I know plenty of people that have. But their stories are not mine to tell. My favorite artist. Artist in which sense? You mean like musician, painter, photographer, film director, writer, concept artist for a video game? Like, Black Beanie's Beans Incorporated 2022. Yes. Music. I don't really have a favorite specific band or anything. My favorite guitar player is probably Mark Tremonti. He's just insanely good. I don't know. Again, I don't really have like a single favorite of things. I'm not saying I don't have any. It's just it's not usually. Tastes change and Weekend's good. Latest work has this quite distinguished 80s vibe. Boyard Bean. So stupid. He lives on the can. Taking a giant can of beans. Heinz beans, to be specific. Stream is not sponsored by Heinz beans. It is, in fact, sponsored by all of you. The other guys have to sit here and watch ads when they pop up, and if you feel like it, shoot a little donation my way or become a YouTube member. My Patreon is currently down because Patreon is frustrating to figure out. Never used it before, like me. So I'm just leaving that dog where it lies. Have I ever shot a gun? Yes, I have. Several. I grew up in the woods in America. Yes, shot a gun several times. In ranges and outside of range. Oop, hold tight, guys. I'm getting a phone call. I've got to answer. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Just had to take a phone call. Let's get back to building this can of beans. I wonder if I'll finish it today. Lot to do. Hey, mustache. Yes, sorry for the delay. Just couldn't let that one go to voicemail. This is a neat desert biome. I love what they've done with the rocks in the mountains there. It's got like the different colors and stuff. I can't wait once we're done with this to go down into that village and look at this gigantic can of beans. Yeah, do it! Take us to the dance. Tell me you can't dance. You're busy with the beans. Crush rejected you. I'm sorry to hear that. Sometimes happens. All right, almost done with the bottom of the bean can. Okay. What I'll probably do with this is add some circles underneath it to give it that, like, the ridges. Comes the fun part. Which one do we think looks more like the picture on that or that? Personally, I'm aiming more toward light blue light blue wool. Just don't like that texture. I think I'm gonna go with cyan concrete just because, or cyan concrete, sorry. Just because habits die hard. Just because it is a solid block and it doesn't have any texture on it. What I'm looking for. Add one layer around, then I'm just gonna go straight up and down. Once we have the outline, the whole thing's going to be hollow. Once we have the outline, then we will make the label, like the logo that's on the label. And it really is blue. I can get away with just using light blue concrete. Frustrating deleting all of it, breaking all of this after we just put it there, but I'd rather adjust it now. Ugh. Not the right color! What's the color of these diamonds? Whatever, doesn't matter. We're just gonna have to deal with it. This stuff. All right, go. How on earth did we decide to make this so big? Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Making a giant can of beans. This is also technically an AMA, so if you have any questions, any at all, they don't have to be about me. They can just be general questions. I will answer them. How long have I played Minecraft? I have played Minecraft since, at the very least, 2010. I remember when it was in alpha, and I think I joined when it was in beta. You have to forgive me for not remembering which year that was. But, a bit over a decade ago. And I played it off and on for a while, but, I've definitely never played it as much as I've played it since I started doing stuff in it for YouTube. Used to be quite different. It's like pigs, cows, chickens, and sheep. That was it. Can't remember if there were fish. What version do I have? Whatever the latest version of Bedrock is. Caves and Cliffs update, whatever. Let's see. Version 1.18.10. I have to start treating this like a 3D printer. Do one layer at a time. Just stole a cargo bob in GTA. Hey! Be willing to help you on a bridge build? Like go into your world and help you? No. Sorry. But if you need like advice, I'd be glad to do that. Yeah, but say like it's nothing personal. I just don't know you. But it is flattering you'd want to. For Christ's sake. For Christ's sake! Alright, I don't know how much more I'm going to be working on that. We started out a bit too ambitious here. Too big. Ever used a structure block? I don't think so. Sure, it would make whatever it is I'm doing. Yeah, kind of thinking that. It's already been about 3 hours and change. Started off with a couple dozen people watching, and now about 2. This was an AMA, so I mean, it was supposed to be like asking questions and stuff, but man, we spent a lot of time answering the questions, and are where we are. At least want to finish this row before I go ahead and sign off. At least get over there. Does it cost money to make YouTube videos? It depends on what you mean. Do you have to pay to upload them? No. You have to pay to host it? No. You need to pay for services like Adobe Premiere. There's a monthly fee. Photoshop to make thumbnails, which is a monthly fee. Yes. You need to pay out the ass in order to afford good gear, in order to record things with. Yes, cameras are not cheap. But if you're doing this and you decide to moniker yourself as a limited liability company, like an LLC, then you can claim it all on your taxes as a business expense and be reimbursed. Means you owe less taxes. But you still have to pay for it. The ceiling has never been lower, though, so a decent microphone is not expensive. You can get a good one for like 50 bucks, even less than that. Adequate one for less than that. Everything has a camera now. Even if you've got a dinky little computer, you can use screen sharing in order to broadcast your Xbox or your PlayStation to your computer, and it'll just be mirroring whatever's on your console. You can stream that way, or you can buy an Elgato, which is like $100 and change, just a capture card. Plug that up as a pass-through between your console and whatever your output device is, and stream that way or record that way. But if you want to record videos and edit videos, unless you want to be pulling your hair out, you need a decent computer. I say good, I said decent. And those, unfortunately, do not come cheap. And then you need to teach yourself how to use software. You need to teach yourself how to edit. You need to understand what editing is. You need to understand basically the concepts of nonlinear editing. You need to familiarize yourself with copyright law, especially. Just on a basic level, you don't need to know like specific clauses or anything like that. You just need to know what you can and can't use. And if you're fuzzy on something, don't do it. Better to be safe than sorry. But as far as actually taking a finished video and putting it on YouTube, putting a thumbnail on it and showing it off to the world, putting it out there, shockingly simple. You can pretty much just shoot something on your cell phone, an unedited clip of you beatboxing or something, or taking a shit, who knows, and you can upload that to YouTube. It's never been easier to get your content out there. The problem is oversaturation, differentiating yourself, seeing a return on your investment, how much you're actually willing to put into, like how much work you're actually willing to expend on something like this. Being a YouTuber can make you a profit. I have not made a profit yet. And I've been doing it for almost, it'll be 4 years this November. But I didn't start making money. Like, you're not even eligible to make money on it until you reach 1,000 subscribers, and you get 4,000 hours of watch time over the life of your channel, or over the previous year. There are a couple stipulations that you have to meet in order to qualify for monetization. You also have to remain in good standing with basically advertising principles. So it's basically just the rules that they put in place to make sure that you're not putting out inflammatory or offensive content. But yeah, the thing is that when you become a YouTuber, which literally is just a name, you decide when you are a YouTuber. Okay, it could be after your first video, it could be after 100 videos, it could be when you start doing it full time, it could be when you decide to start making videos. You could say, I'm a YouTuber now. Doesn't matter. That it's just a name. Okay? What you really are, if you are, again, it depends on what you want to do, because you can stream on YouTube, you can host videos on YouTube, it really just depends on what type of content you want to make. So I decided very, very early on that what I wanted to do was like gaming news, updates, and commentary pieces. And I quickly decided that Minecraft would be a better direction to go, because that was the only thing that was getting me traction. So I just I put out a Minecraft video a long time ago. It was just a time lapse of me building a fairly crude version of the Empire State Building, and people liked it enough. It got like 1,000 views, and when you're averaging 12 views a video, and you're editing it on a laptop that's 6 years old using an expired version of Windows Movie Maker in order to make them, and you're using MS Paint in order to make thumbnails, you know, seeing something that you made get 1,000 views is like, holy crapola. So it can be just the jolt that you need. It was the jolt that I needed to decide that I was going, hey Dick, welcome. It was the jolt that I decided I needed in order to go back and start making more videos. Focus, I guess, primarily on Minecraft. But what I decided to do before I went back was to actually build a gaming PC, which required patience and a little bit of elbow grease. It's not hard to build a PC at all. There's never been more guides as to how to build a PC. And back when I built one, you could actually get the parts. That said, wasn't a particularly amazing PC. Hey! While I'm talking, put all your information about your PC in the chat here. I want to see. And then once you do, I'll tell you what's in mine. Am I good with redstone? No. No. I am not good with redstone at all. I am not an engineer. I am a painter. I grew up playing the very first Minecraft that the first iteration of Minecraft that I bought was Minecraft Java. Obviously, that was the only one around back in like 2010. But yeah, once I got it for the Xbox 360, I was like, wow, I really like using the controller instead of the mouse and keyboard. Then I got the Xbox One edition, which is exactly the same as the PlayStation 4 edition, but in my opinion, that is the best iteration of Minecraft. It has the most intuitive controls. But anyways. Gosh. I want my cat to be quiet. No, okay, so back to stuff about being a YouTuber. Yeah, you decide when you want to be a YouTuber, doesn't matter. When you upload a video, okay, there's a bit of a process that a lot of people don't understand. It's not like you just record yourself doing something and then just post it. You can obviously do that, obviously. But again, it all, like I said about 10 minutes ago before I started rambling, it depends on what type of content you want to make. So what I decided when I came back after I built my very first rig capable of playing something and recording it at the same time at a decent, respectable frame rate, and then being able to edit it and then render it, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a tutorial for this Empire State Building that I did. No idea what I was doing in that regard. So I was like, okay, I'm going to write a script with the instructions. Okay. And then I am going to come up with some fun camera angles and stuff to show it off while I build it. And I'm going to show it being built in a step-by-step fashion while my reciting the script narrates it. So that required a handful of things. OBS, which is Open Broadcaster Software, open source broadcaster software, whatever you want to call it. Is this. You're gonna get a little tripped out here in a second. Okay? This is OBS. All right? You see, you've got all of your different sources down here. You've got desktop audio here. You've got my audio. Get right there. Webcam display capture. It'll capture whatever you see, and then you can tell it to stream out. You can also record. You can also set up a virtual camera if you're using OBS as a video conferencing tool. Okay, so get something like OBS or Streamlabs OBS, which is much better if you're doing Twitch, because it's got a whole bunch of plugins. They all have plugins, but you need a way to capture video. You need a way to edit that video. I use something called HitFilm, and it's pretty good in my opinion. It does just about. It's laid out. It's meant to mirror or emulate a lot of what Adobe Premiere Pro does. It just doesn't require a monthly subscription. You buy the license and then got it. Editing software is not cheap. You got to remember that the majority of people that are buying things for like editing software like Premiere Pro and Vegas Pro and a whole bunch of these other ones are editing houses. These are like big companies that buy a bunch of licenses annually. So these software companies can pretty much just charge whatever they want because they want to make a killing. So it's some of these are prohibitively expensive for people like you and me. So go with something free to start with, and then if you start making money, upgrade. I recommend HitFilm Express because it has a ton of features that you can buy on top of the free software, but what it comes with at the base level is sufficient enough to do anything. And then what you need to do after that, so not only do you need to learn how to level out your sound, because you don't want to be screwing up a whole bunch of stuff with your sound. You need to learn about good sources for free, royalty-free music, stock photos, stock sound effects, stock videos if you need them. I'm not saying that you will need them, but it comes in handy if you know all of this stuff. You need to understand what bit rates are when it comes to encoding your videos. You need to understand a little bit about the hardware in your computer and how that relates to the types of videos that you're trying to record. So my monitor is a 1440p monitor, 1440p, 144 hertz. But what I am outputting to you is 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's just better. It works better with the bit rate that YouTube likes and all that stuff. Hey, Naval, good to see you. So yeah, you need to learn about like what different encoders do. You need to learn about the differences between NVIDIA and AMD when it comes to recording things, when it comes to playing things if you're doing gaming. Sometimes being a YouTuber is seriously as easy as buying a MacBook, recording stuff from a webcam or your cell phone camera, putting that in Lightroom, whatever the Apple equivalent is, whatever the Apple like basic video editor is. Plug it into there, chop it up a little bit, download a flashy intro, plug your name in there, put some gentle EDM in the background, and then upload it to YouTube. It's that easy. You'll notice that when you go to YouTube, and I'll pull this up, okay? This is my For You page. It's pretty ridiculous. There's this little thing right here. Probably seen this, okay? So you click that, you'll get the option to upload a video, go live, or create a post. You will not get this option unless you have over 1,000 subscribers. It could even be more than that, I'm not sure. But you say upload a video, and wherever your finished video is that you've rendered using your software and that you've got it looking the way you want, you've got it sounding the way you want, you got it edited up with the right flow, the right vibe, the video's where you want it. You click and drag it over into that and it will upload. And then you will be taken to a screen where you can input all of the details. It's in a little area called YouTube Studio. And once you start uploading videos, I don't even think you need to be a YouTuber. You just need to have a YouTube account to access YouTube Studio. So you go to YouTube Studio, you can type in you need to understand SEO a little bit, keywords, and you type in the title, you type in your hashtags, you type in your description, your links. You can go all the way down and add some tags if you want to, though the jury's still out on whether or not that actually helps. It does help if you have keywords that you want to direct to your video. So you can add the tag, like if you do, like if the title of my video was touring the Empire State Building, in the tags I could put big skyscraper because I want people who are looking for big skyscrapers to be directed to my video. There's only off chance it comes. Yep, and thumbnails are equally as important, so I use Adobe Spark, pretty easy. Just throw some images together in that. I used to have a tablet that I would use to create my thumbnails, but I don't have that anymore. Yeah. You just think about something that's catchy in your thumbnail and you throw it all together. Yeah. That's it. You just try to, you constantly have to be aware when you're you need to be tech literate. You need to be literate as to how, like, the hardware of your computer. You need to be literate as to the software, your recording software, your editing software, the various elements of video. You need to be aware of what color temperature is. You need to be aware of what frame rates are. You need to be aware of what bit rates are. You need to be aware of audio levels. You need to know the difference in Windows between DVD quality and CD quality. Recording, you need to make sure that all of your hardware, like your microphone, your webcam, your lights, what have you, keyboard, mouse, you need to make sure that everything works well with each other. You need to have a little bit of an understanding about what makes a good video versus what makes a bad video. A lot of that is trial and error, and a lot of that is just watching good videos. And a video with good editing is a video where you do not notice the editing. Okay? But not only that, for me at least, there's shot composition and scripting and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then once you have your video in the right state, you need to be aware of how to market that video. And to a certain degree, you need to be aware of how to market yourself, which is something that I struggle with because annoying. Can't stand social media marketing, and at a certain point you kind of have to put yourself out there in order for people to pay attention to you if you want people to watch your stuff. But yeah, that is that. And then once you see something is successful, you need to figure out how to emulate it. Yeah, I don't know why either. Autocorrect is dumb. Naval, let me show you how far we made our bean can. About it. It is a gigantic bean can. It will be hovering over the citizens of whatever village this is. But yeah, I'm going to come back to this bean can, maybe in the next Ask Me Anything video, or maybe I'll just make it a series. We'll see. And then that'll be that. But as for right now, I am going to sign off. I do hope that everyone will follow us on social medias, and some of you might consider becoming a YouTube member. Certainly would mean a lot. But yeah, I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for the questions.